problem we are solving is we are making market for small businesses that are trying to find buyers. Our best value add happens when a business owner is looking to sell to the broader market, and the more buyers that a business can attract, the better it is. Process involves both buyers and sellers, but we typically start with the sellers.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, this is Max Pittman from WriteForMe, and you're listening to another episode of the Business Ninja podcast, where we meet the experts who are making things happen and scaling their businesses. And today we're talking about Murphy Business Sales with Vipin Singh, who is the owner of the Edison, New Jersey franchise. Thank you so much for joining us today, Vipin, and appreciate you being here. Now, I know the Murphy business is in the M&A space for small to medium-sized businesses, and the company's been around since 1994. So I'm definitely excited to dive in what's going on at Murphy Business and your specific franchise. But before we jump into that, our Business Ninjas community is built of entrepreneurs like yourself, but executives and sales and marketing leaders. So as the owner of a franchise within the Murphy Business Sales Group, tell the Business Ninjas community a little bit about yourself and some of the things you're focused on.
Thank you again for having me. I am a business broker or business intermediary. We help with buying and selling of businesses. The way I got into this business was I was looking to buy a business myself 2 years ago. Didn't really see any good quality information, good quality businesses in the area that I was looking for, and decided to look for franchises and met a few folks who are doing what I'm doing now. And they introduced me to the concept and shared more information with me. I love their background, their stories, and I kind of jumped in just being inspired by their stories. So now I'm helping other buyers and sellers of businesses. And at the same time, if there's an opportunity that fits with my expertise and background, which is a lot of finance, risk management, I work with companies like Morgan Stanley, PwC, Visa, GM, Merrill Lynch. So, opportunities within that accounting and transaction space, financial advisory space would be of interest to me as well.
Very cool. I love that. It's interesting. Like you saw there was, you saw a gap, right? In like what you were doing and what you liked to do and what you wanted to do, and found a franchise like Murphy Business to potentially start doing this at a bigger scale and helping buying and selling businesses yourself instead of working, for those big conglomerate hedge funds too. So I love that. That's great. And you've been doing this for how long?
Since June of 2021, so about 2 years now.
But your experience in finance goes way back.
Yes, I started working in 99, so I've been working for 20 plus years now.
And I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I know I've imagined myself pitching ideas on Shark Tank or maybe even being the shark myself. So I'd love it if you can kind of tell me, like, what is, Murphy Business's like elevator pitch? What problem do you guys solve specifically for small to medium-sized businesses?
So the biggest problem we are solving is we are making market for small businesses that are trying to find buyers. And the whole process is full of issues, concerns, there's lack of transparency. We want to mitigate that issue. We want to help buyers and sellers come to the table and talk to each other as potential partners. And there's a lot of emotion involved in this process. The sellers are almost handing over their second or third child that they have created, built over several years. And the buyers are concerned if they are buying a true value driving business, and we help make those conversations successful. And we are there right from the beginning, where we would appraise the business and share what value the business can attract from the buying community. And then we package the business, we do the marketing, we create information memorandums. We take it to market, we pre-screen buyers, make sure that they are the right kind of buyers for that kind of a business, they have the right backgrounds. And then we take it all the way to the close, including supporting the due diligence process that the buyers have to go through along with their attorneys and CPAs.
Like a full service approach from what I hear. and
That's correct.
creating this marketplace and connecting buyers and sellers. So, who is your target audience then? Is there a focus more on, the businesses that might be looking to sell, or is it more on connecting them, or is it more of the buyers and getting them to this marketplace to look at the companies who are trying to sell their organizations?
So our ideal target, or the way we start our process, is finding the business owners who are looking to sell using a third-party sale process, because a lot of businesses in the small business community sometimes transition through a family transition within the family, and sometimes they are partner buyouts or a management buyout, and we can help with those processes. But our best value add happens when a business owner is looking to sell to the broader market, and the more buyers that a business can attract, the better it is. So we start there, but then we have to have buyers for those opportunities. So we also have a lot of interactions with buyers, and maybe I would say we talk more to buyers eventually, because for each business we have listed, we might talk to 30, 40, even more buyers sometimes. So the process involves both buyers and sellers, but we typically start with the sellers.
Oh, interesting. So, and then it sounds like that's a bit of like your secret sauce is actually like who you guys, are, trying to get on your marketplace as well. So like, how are you like getting them to this marketplace specifically? Is there a lot of outreach involved? Is it, networking? Like, how would people even find Murphy Business, be like, oh, this is actually a place that might actually work for me, and maybe this is something I should actually consider because I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm ready to retire, or I just can't do this anymore, and I don't have any other family members that can do this. It's like, what is that secret sauce?
I would say it's a lot of trust-based conversations, and we do a lot of networking. We reach out to not just business owners, but also people who work with business owners, because they are the ones who have the trust already built. And if they know us and they know how we provide our services and how we differentiate ourselves from our competitors, they're able to make that initial introduction. And then from there on, it's up to us how we are able to engage with the business owner. So I would say more than 70% of our business comes through referrals through one of our partners. And then sometimes business owners also find us through our web presence, social media, some cold calling effort, some direct mail effort. But the bulk of it is through referrals and word of mouth.
That makes sense. Yeah. Why, there's a lot of trust, handshake deals, right? Like getting your face out there, people have to trust you that, you're the right partner for them. So it makes sense that they potentially would even go through partnerships and people can come to you guys through there. So why would, someone, choose you, over the competition? Obviously there's a lot of trust into it, but is it, something about the technology, the marketplace, or who these, buyers might be?
Yeah, so it's a combination. We lead with our quality of services, as you see in my logo that I'm showing on my screen. Excellence in business transactions is what we want to distinguish ourselves with. So the kind of credentials we bring to the table, kind of backgrounds that not just myself, but the entire Murphy team has. We share all the information that we have gathered over several years doing all these transactions. We bring a lot of industry knowledge because we are members of various business brokerage associations, M&A associations, chambers of commerce. So we lead with that knowledge and information, and then we share how we do what we do. And there are some of our competitors that might also provide similar services, but eventually it comes down to the relationships and how much people would trust us versus our competition, and how much they like us. So it's a lot about know, like, and trust.
Sure. Yeah, it sounds like this is nothing new to you either. And you guys have been around since 1994, so I'm sure there's a breadth of industry knowledge, right? So what is like the biggest challenge, I guess, that you as a business are facing right now? Is there anything that like sticks out to you that is top of mind that you're trying to solve for? Is it revenue number? Is it getting the right buyers into the marketplace? Like what's that challenge you're focusing on right now?
For me, the biggest challenge I would say is making the value that we provide to our customers more and more transparent to our customers. So what we do is not something that is very well known.
Mm.
Uh, Not everyone is looking to buy a business or sell a business. And when a business owner sells a business, it typically happens once or maybe twice in the lifetime of a business owner. So the number of transactions are not that many, and it's not something that would get a lot of media attention. So we need to get out there, talk about how we add value, what kind of value we add, why someone should be working with us versus trying to sell the business on their own, or having a friend or someone in the family try to do that, because some business owners do try that and some are successful, but it's a matter of chance in that case. Whereas what we bring to the table is a whole process, and we make sure that when we are promising something, we are delivering to that promise. And it takes a lot of time to sell a business. On average, it's a 9 to 12 month long process. So we need to stay with the business owner for that duration, sometimes much longer than that, depending on what kind of a business it is and which location it is situated. So we need to get that message out there and make people aware of what we are doing. And beyond that, it comes down to how well we can do it and deliver the value.
Yeah, it makes sense. What give me an example customer, like what's someone that, you partner with, or, the franchise you partner with, like that, is it, printing business? Is it pool cleaning business? Like, give me an idea of like some of those example customers that you guys have already, worked with and have been in the marketplace and sold their businesses.
Yes, so pool service business is one of my own listings that I'm working with. It's based in South Jersey. Another one is a restaurant business. I would say close to about 20% of our businesses are in that food/restaurant space. A lot of our businesses are those service businesses like the pool service company. We have electricians, plumbers, HVAC companies. Some of these can be as large as a few $1 million. And last year, one of the large transactions we closed in New Jersey was upwards of $17 million. So these are large companies that are typically acquired by other large companies when the numbers are in a few $1 million. And we cross the spectrum from a Main Street business, which could be doing $500,000 in revenue, all the way up to maybe $20-30 million in revenue. And for smaller businesses, we sometimes have individual buyers, but for larger businesses, we also work with private equity companies and other companies that are in the space and would like to grow through acquisition.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So it makes sense why a lot of these companies are in like the service-based industries. So like, what is your process to like get in front of them? I know a lot maybe coming right now from, referrals, right? But what is your marketing process? Like, how is marketing playing a role in kind of helping, your own unique brand, stand out?
So within our franchise system, we start off with a marketing program where we send letters to business owners within our territories. And then we follow up with a call to make sure that the letter was received and it went to the right person and so on. But in general, I would say beyond that, we continue to do that, but mostly the networking process is the main marketing channel, as that's how we get to know business owners and their advisors. And they essentially introduce us to the business owners or decision makers. And that's how we get most of our businesses. We do go for industry conferences. We advertise in the trade periodicals and journals and magazines, which are prevalent in those industries. But I would say the maximum sort of return for our effort comes through those networking channels.
So tell me, I guess, a little bit about like how you're educating prospective customers. Is it, I know I heard a few things there, like calling, emailing, touch points like that. But like, what's the education process on, how they would partner with you to potentially sell their business?
So we do broad group seminars and webinars where we share information in terms of our process and how we do what we do. But then we also do one-on-one meetings with the business owners, and that's part of our sales process. That it's a very consultative process. We sit down with the business owner trying to understand what their pain points are, Why are they looking to sell? Is this the right time for them to sell? Should they be selling to the third party buyers that we are sort of specialists in, or are they also looking at other options? Do they already have buyers lined up? Because in that case, the process might be quicker. Do they have other advisors already sort of arranged in terms of legal counsel and lenders? Because all of those pieces have to align. That's one of the reasons why it takes so long, as everyone has to be on board. If there's a landlord, they have to be on board to transfer the lease to the buyer. So our initial meeting is just going through these points, making sure that there are no pitfalls that we would run into later on in the process. If we find issues, we advise the business owner to address them in advance. So, we are not spending a lot of time and money on promoting that business. And then after spending several months, we find out that there was a major issue that was left undiscovered. So there's a long discovery conversation. We have a very long checklist that we go through to make sure that all the disclosure items are well documented. And it works from an educational point of view. The business owner realizes what kind of questions come up during the process. And then it also works from a pre-diligence point of view, that a buyer won't have to ask the same question again. They might still want to dig deeper into some of those issues, but they would at least have a starting point view on the business. If there are any legal issues, environmental issues, labor issues, customer issues, all of that we discuss in advance with the business owner and discuss it with the seller, and then eventually also disclose it to the buyer.
Man, you have to be a true expert on everything when it comes to like the ins and outs of running a business, and all the pitfalls and crazy things that could come up. You have to get ahead of and educate them. So that's why you have to be this type of expert.
Yeah, we leverage the experience of all our offices across the country, and sometimes new issues come up. Like during COVID, we had emerging issues that we had to watch out for in financial statements, and we would advise the business owners that be prepared for these questions from the lender, and there are certain loans that cannot be transferred to the new buyer, so you need to pay them down, and all of those things we share with each other. And that's the benefit of being part of a broader network, because someone else has had a similar issue, and our clients benefit from the experience of all those 100+ offices that we have across the country and Canada.
Interesting. That's super interesting. You can't just rely on one person. You have to rely on a network of people that have that are subject matter experts, on taxes, on dealing with the landlords and leases, dealing with all the ins and outs of even like the inventory, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
And the employees, like employees that are working there, right? Like how are they going to be taken care of? You got to be experts on everything. So it sounds like a really robust program you guys have.
Yeah. We need to discuss everything with the business owner. Go ahead.
Yeah. So when you have someone who's interested in this, they're not just taking a conversation just to take the conversation. There has to be some sort of preconceived notion, like, hey, maybe this is not something I want to do in the next couple of years. Like it's not someone just picking up the phone like, yeah, let's talk. No, it's like there's a lot to go through, long discovery process, lots of education that needs to go on. So you want to make sure you're getting the right people who are actually interested in taking the next step and selling that business as one of those leads for you guys.
Yeah, and we're happy to tell business owners if the time is not right, if they need some more time to maybe grow the business or fix certain issues before they bring the business to market, that might be the best thing for them to do. It's not just putting it on the market and then figuring it out, because sometimes your first buyer might be the best buyer. So you don't want to miss out on that opportunity and have a bad first impression. So we recommend to a lot of our potential clients that fix these 2 or 3 issues or grow this business a little bit more, because the value you're looking for, you will get that value if you can just make these certain changes yourself versus expecting the buyer to make it, because that will be a difficult conversation.
I can see that for sure. So what is, for you, Vipin, like, how are you planning to grow and scale, your own business right now? What is what is your kind of top priority? What's your North Star that you're focusing on for the next year?
So my top priority right now is to have someone else join my team, and anyone who is excited and interested in doing what I do, especially in New Jersey, this area, would be a great fit, as that's one of the ways to grow the business for anyone who's doing business brokerage, M&A work. As we need more people to get the message out. We need more people to help the clients the way I do. And yeah, I'm currently looking for someone who would be willing to join the team, either as an agent working for my office, or we also have locations that people could buy a franchise and have their own office to start with.
Gotcha. So sounds like scaling and recruitment right now is kind of your top focus. What does that agent need to have? What type of experience they need to have?
So two key skills we look for are people skills, which I would say is required in any client-facing role. And the other one is to have some comfort with numbers, as we need to be fluent with accounting. We need to know how valuations are done. We need to be able to talk at the level of a private equity group and help them explain why we have a certain business valued at a certain number. So it comes with some experience, but we also have a lot of training that we provide to our new employees, new agents, new franchisees. And then there's also ongoing training that is provided through our offices. And there are a lot of resources that Murphy Business Sales provides to new agents and employees or franchisees. And yeah, essentially anyone who can talk to clients in a friendly manner and talk numbers without getting too concerned or worried would be a great fit.
So someone who may want to join a larger private equity group, but may not actually be the right fit, maybe wants to work with smaller businesses, sounds like is potentially that fit for you guys.
Yeah, this could be a great launch pad for someone who's looking to go into private equity in the future, because one of the challenges for private equity is deal sourcing. And what we do is essentially we are the channel of deal sourcing for private equity groups. And sometimes we are working as a retained search partner for private equity companies. And yeah, definitely this could be a great launch pad for that.
So what's something that, you want to be celebrating, a year from now? Is it, having, a specific revenue number hit, or number of businesses sold? Like, what is that metric that you're looking for, in addition, obviously scaling, right? But like, what is something that you want to achieve from a metric perspective by the end of this year, or even a year from now in April of next year?
Yeah, I would measure it more in terms of how many clients I'm able to provide services to. So right now I have 5 businesses listed. I would want to make sure that all 5 get sold at the prices that my clients are looking for. So my ideal metric would be 5 happy clients by the end of this year. And hopefully I'll have more listings soon, so that number will just keep growing. Okay. But I want to make sure that I deliver the best service to the clients that have put their trust in me, and the revenue, etc., sort of follows. This business is one that after you sell a few businesses, the word gets out and people tell others, and it grows from there. Most of my colleagues who have been doing business brokerage for 5+ years are so busy that they are sort of struggling to find time for anything else, and that's obviously going to happen in time for me. But right now I'm just looking to make my current clients as happy as I can.
Sure. It's definitely a snowball effect. Once it's, once one domino falls, the rest seem to fall too. And when it rains, it pours. But obviously there's ebbs and flows in the market as well. And, how is the market, I guess, playing into, into the business right now? Like, I assume when the market's great, more people are looking to try to buy businesses. What does that look like, I guess, from your perspective?
Yeah, so I would say buyers and sellers are a little more cautious these days. In general, there's always an opportunity for a business owner to sell a business as long as they are flexible with price and terms. I would say with some of the recent banking issues that have come to the forefront, few lenders have tightened their lending standards. So a few buyers have had issues getting their loans approved. And that's making some of the buyer community a little bit nervous. But again, banks will do deals if they see enough collateral, enough credit, and the right terms are in place. So sellers are a little bit careful of if this is the right time to sell the business, because there's always this ongoing discussion about, will the Fed increase rates even more? Will that lead to a recession? That hasn't happened, and we've been talking about it for several months now. So it's one of the most anticipated recessions as they talk about it. But the sellers are being cautious, and at the same time, we are telling our clients, both on the buy side and sell side, that it's never a perfect time. It's hard to time the market, just like buying any stock or selling any stock. So you have to keep in mind all your other criteria and factors, like how much energy do you have to run the business, for how long will you continue doing it. The value might be a little bit more in a different situation, but you also have to invest that money when you sell a business. So will that be the best time to invest, or will you be investing at the peak? So right now, if you get cash and you invest it, this might be a good time to take that cash and invest in the markets, whereas at a higher price point, and then that market will correct from there. So
right,
it balances out.
Yeah, you have to be able to give that advice. And kind of talk people off a cliff sometimes, but also make sure you're honest from a macroeconomic perspective into like what you're actually seeing and what other people are doing. You have these 5 businesses right now, and I understand your goal is to grow your listing base too, but you also need to be realistic about what's actually happening in the market as that consultant for them as well. So I can see why there's a lot of value in someone partnering up with you guys.
Yeah.
So, as we wrap things up, is there anything else that, you'd like to share, anything you think our listeners need to know about you, about the company, or about the market, that we haven't covered thus far?
Yeah, so one thing I would highlight is, as a company, we are moving more and more upmarket, and that's one of the other differences from our competitors, that our average deal size is slightly larger than most of our national business brokerage competitors. Our time to close is a little bit shorter, and we are trying to take that experience and all the knowledge we have gained to help larger clients. So just in New Jersey, for example, we have created a separate web presence on a website called mergeracquisitionnj.com. We have our own website, murphybusiness.com. My office is /Edison. But we'll do more and more M&A transactions, starting with lower middle market businesses, which would be sort of 5 million to 20, 30 million price range. And that's what I would like to highlight, that if anyone is looking for a conversation, there's no cost to having a discussion with us. And if this is not the right time, we'll be the first ones to tell our potential clients that we need to wait. And they can get our advice and decide if they would like to engage with us in the future.
For sure. I mean, it sounds like what your focus is with increasing deal size, shortening close and lead times. You're not alone when it comes to pretty much any other organization that's focused on B2B buying. That's the biggest thing that everyone's really focused in on, is how do we increase our deal sizes? How do we get more of the market share and go up market, while also trying to decrease the amount of time it takes to close an opportunity. So I love that you guys are still in the same place as a lot of other people that we talk to as well. I know you're talking about networking a lot. Where can people find you, right? Where are you going to be? Any conferences coming up? I want to kind of give you the floor of the plug, yourself, and how people can get a hold of you.
So me personally, I am constantly out there with like local chamber of commerce events, and I'm on social media. So with my name, Vipin Singh, you'll see me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm as listed as Murphy Business Sales, and my website will be the best way to find me. So that's murphybusiness.com/Edison.
Perfect. Awesome. Any conferences, anywhere else you're going to be in the near future?
The next one that is on our docket is the New Jersey CPA conference in Atlantic City. That's in mid-June. So we'll be there as a team. We are planning to go for some of the other business brokerage conferences. There is one coming up in May that's in Orlando, so we'll be there as well. And there are other industry conferences that we are planning to join. And yeah, we'll keep everyone focused and we'll share our information on all the channels I just mentioned.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll make sure to share the insight as well for everyone in the descriptions of your socials, where people can find you, the conferences you're going to be at as well, and obviously like how people can get a hold of you on your own website. So anyone that's looking to have a conversation with you that listens to this, we want to make it easy for them to find you guys too. But obviously meeting in person, I think will go a long way as well. So hopefully you can share this with the people that you may think are going to be at those conferences coming up in New Jersey and in Florida as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you being here, Vipin, and I definitely enjoyed this conversation. I feel like I've learned a lot about you and what you have going on at Murphy Business and how you guys work with potential companies, buyers and sellers. So I definitely appreciate you being here and sharing your story.
Thank you. I enjoyed this conversation and appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, thanks everyone for listening. That wraps up another episode of the Business Ninjas podcast. Everyone have a great rest of the day and thanks for listening.